That was a handful. That was a freaking handful. Oh my god. And Koeman, you know what's the worst part? I'm gonna begin just with this. Koeman said that with him, there's a future in this club. I don't think so. I don't think so, dude. I don't think so. I gave you the benefit of the doubt for a season, and you're not giving me anything in return. You are literally giving me absolutely nothing. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? And welcome to this match review of Barcelona's devastating, humiliating, and for me most of all, frustrating defeat at the hands of Bayern Munich in the first match day of the UEFA Champions League group stages. How are you? How are you? How are you guys? How are you guys? Everything is fine with you? Are you okay? None of you have suffered any injuries, I hope. I was punching my wall really hard when I was watching this game. So I hope that you don't suffer the same thing. People are already saying, Buga, I think your title is shit over the top, mate. A bit over the top. It's a bit over the top, but the thing is that with Koeman right now, we don't have a future at this stage. We don't have a future, and I do not think that's an overreaction. And I'll explain you why. The thing is that a manager needs to have two things, and one of them is a little bit of, well, one of them is dressing room management. And I think that Koeman has that. I think that Koeman has that dressing room management on lock. It's not going to be hard. It's not going to be hard, difficult, because he has right now youngsters at his disposal. And we saw a good amount of those youngsters coming in the second half. And that was good to see. That's good improvements. That's a good sign that we're going on the right direction, a path towards recovery or a road towards recovery. I think that is the reality of it all. But when we talk about then the second thing that a manager needs to have is, well, a little bit of comprehension of the game, a little bit of tactical awareness. And I believe that currently Koeman has absolutely none of that, and he doesn't know where he's settled at Barcelona. I talked about it in our preview, per se. You could call that a preview of our game against Bayern Munich earlier today, where I mentioned that the thing that you need to do is frustrate them, but you have to frustrate them in a way that doesn't basically let them play how they want to. Barcelona did exactly that today. Bayern Munich doesn't need to control the ball to hinder you. They don't need possession to make it to struggle you. They don't need that. They only need some few chances because they're always gonna be moving. They are gonna be choking you like a presser, like a machine, slowly clenching their claws around your neck. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna take your breath away in a bad sense. And Barcelona didn't have any sort of, like I said, and Barcelona, but because of Koeman, didn't have any sort of awareness of that was actually going to happen. I mentioned in a few tweets, and guys, once again, it's not a Buga live stream, so I don't say that you need to follow my Twitter. But the thing is that my best content, and I'm honest with you, my best statements come through Twitter. I'm not joking, and this is what I said here that I'm just gonna remind myself. I said that here. Here's the thing. Listen to this very carefully, okay? Koeman is a manager who is doing certain things right, like trusting these youngsters in the second half. But he's severely hindering his appeal toward the fan base because of his tactical ineptitude and his cowardice approach. That is the thing. Koeman is hindering himself and his way of just getting along with Barcelona fans. And he's not believing on the philosophy that once again is instated by this club. I want to continue by saying this. If you do not know, it's almost impossible to nullify Bayern Munich, which it is. It's almost impossible to nullify Bayern Munich because they're a systematic team. They're a team that has their movements, and for me that's the key, the movements. For a moment, I don't know, guys, if you stopped watching the ball but started looking at Bayern Munich without it. Their movements, the way of just approaching every single situation. Let's say Pedri has the ball, you saw Goretzka, Müller, you saw Jamal Musiala, all of them just perfectly knowing where the other one is going to be and predicting the every single move of a Barcelona player. They were always one step up ahead of a game, and they were looking for the passes that a Barcelona player could do. They didn't let any sort of fluent circulation of the ball come out of the back line of Barcelona. That is one thing they completely nullified. and they were very good at that at it all. And the thing is that if you know they're gonna do that, if you know they're amazing at doing that, and we saw how they good can be because even Nagelsmann, he didn't have to work around those systems. Those systems were in place even before when they won the Champions League. During the Hansi Flick era, Bayern Munich already had that. 2 seasons later, and we still see it with a new manager, and it's just easy for Nagelsmann to repeat the same process. And if you know that's gonna happen, then why don't concede one of the forwards? I say, why not concede one of the forwards that you had? Luke De Jong and Memphis Depay, and we're gonna get into it into the starting 11. I'm gonna get into it, but the thing is that if you have that, if you're gonna play with those two strikers, why not concede one of the defenders? Why not concede one of maybe even just let's say one of Eric Garcia, for instance, and act for more and look for more control in the midfield by having more numbers. Opt for control via numbers. And I think that Coutinho here could have been a perfect utility player because Coutinho has, and here with Coutinho, I do not just mention Coutinho, but I think someone like Ricky Puig would have been very essential as well, or even Gavi from the get-go. Because the thing that all of these three players have in common is their ability to beat the press. And the same with Pedri, but Pedri cannot do it alone. Pedri is the only single player with Frenkie de Jong here, but Frenkie de Jong has to run, has to do all the covering work that Busquets doesn't do. He has to do all the defensive work that Busquets just simply cannot outperform at this stage of his career. So we're kind of losing one of these two players there. I would have added another midfielder, like I mentioned, a Coutinho, a Gavi, a Ricky Puig, add someone that could give you that ability to get past one of Goretzka, get past of Kimmich, get past somebody, so that we just have a little bit of breathing space to control via extra numbers in that middle of the park. And if you have that ability to do that through the middle of the park with those extra players, then I think that someone like Luke De Jong's presence could have been actually utilized to a good amount. Because we take a look at Luke De Jong now, and I know that a lot of you on Twitter as well, and here on the chat right now, I can see that a lot of you are criticizing Luke De Jong, like, what the hell is this guy doing there? For how much longer can Luke De Jong be on the playing field? And the thing is that from a tactical approach, Luke De Jong is not a bad option. He's not a bad player. Those sort of players are very specific and they can help you do a role. But Koeman doesn't even know how to get those players working, and that's the thing that frustrates me. That's the thing that hurts me the most. Pedri, you could have used someone else. Like, even playing Mingueza for the right back and even Roberto for the midfield would have been a much better option, because then you can push Pedri even further forward and have him be closer to a position that he knows how to exercise his best abilities, his best characteristics as a player. And if you want to make Luke De Jong work, then you cannot have him isolated. Isolated, he would just be completely devastated. Whenever he's able to actually get the ball, Luke De Jong was one of our players, I'm not going to say best players, but he always acted on a forward pass. He was always helping us gain the ball. You pass it long, he bring it back, and he circulated the ball. Easy task that he needed to do. But the point is that if you're not doing that in areas of the field where it's effective enough, you're not going to get anywhere. And I think that's where Koeman got it very, very wrong. If you're going to put a player like Luke De Jong there, put some certain sort of associative players around him. Not make it so Luke De Jong is completely isolated, because then what the fuck are you doing? Are you letting Luke De Jong go all-out attack on a counter? He's not going to do that. He's not that sort of player. He's not a Samuel Eto'o, even a Dembele. Dembele could have been a good option here if you wanted to play with a front two, because the speed, the trickery, it was always going to be helpful to have someone like him on the bounce of it. We take a look at Barcelona versus PSG, for instance. Barcelona and the way that they played with the back three last season, two fast forwards on top of them, Messi or Dembele, have them two together, and at least one of them with a little bit of pace. But Memphis Depay is not the fastest. But literally here you're doing the opposite. You're putting Luke De Jong, who literally doesn't move. He's just a trunk, a log of a freaking birch tree stand there in the middle of the field. It doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. And it's frustrating to see. It's really frustrating to see, guys. It's awful. And then before we get into the chat, I wanted to mention one more thing. The thing that we have to mention, and where is it? Okay, here. I know it's going to be easy to criticize Koeman. I know it's going to be pretty simple. And the thing is that he deserves criticism. I literally just criticize him. It's fine. It's fine. But the thing overall is that another thing that we have to mention is that he's not completely the issue. He's one part of the issue where he prefers to play going against our philosophy and the way that we approach this game. which I do not get. Why defend? If you know you're not going to nullify Bayern's tactics, why not simply do something that you're good at? Koeman ain't going to do that. Koeman ain't going to focus on the good things that you have. I think it's very hard, but it's sensible. It's sensible for a manager to do that. I think that you ask most managers in the world, and they're probably gonna do that. They're probably gonna be looking for a way to be more pragmatic, to look for a way to be able to grind out a result. But the thing is that once again, I take a look at the players that we have, and I say we're not built for this. We do not have players that are capable to defend as much. So Koeman, that's a wrongful decision by you. We have technical players, players that need possession, players that need the ball at their feet, players that need a little bit of breathing space with the ball to actually perform to the best of their capabilities. And Koeman doesn't see that. So that's one thing. We can blame him for that because he doesn't know how to read our team. He doesn't know how to read the opposition either. But then the other thing is that we have this context. And I think that as fans, we need to understand. And here, a lot of you are going to be telling me, like, Buga, what do you expect? I saw a comment from one of you guys here saying, Buga, what do you expect or whatnot? But I expected a little bit better. I cannot lie. I expect a little bit better. Hopefully, maybe a win. That's why I didn't put a prediction here in the latest preview because I kind of knew that it was gonna be bad anyway. But the thing that I also needed to mention is that it's a reality check. It's a humbling that we kind of needed to realize where we are and how big this road to recovery is actually going to be. I do not think that Barcelona has a bad squad by any means, but it's not necessarily up there to battle it out for the Champions League just yet. We're not out there. Maybe for La Liga, even maybe one step away, but even when we take a look at matches like the one against Atletico Bilbao or against Getafe, we were completely outrun. We were completely taken over, and that's the only thing that can solve that is harder training exercises. A manager that actually knows how to cope with it and know how to get the best out of his players, how to make them physical beasts, and that is something that we do not have. If you're not gonna be winning technically, if you're not gonna be winning the ball, if you're not gonna be having possession, if you're not gonna be able to dominate, how much are you going to be able to keep yourself in the game? How are you going to be competitive enough? And I mentioned it once again. Domination in football is not only about the team that controls the ball, about possession. It's not it. Because today Barcelona had, well, in the first half, we had more possession than Bayern Munich. At the end, it was 50-50. But the thing is that Bayern Munich doesn't need to dominate with possession. They know how to do it without it. And their true virtue is the physicality that they have. If Barcelona cannot match that, technically, at least be good physically. And we don't even have that. We're not good mentally, we're not good technically right now, and we are not good physically. So that is one thing as well that we need to understand. We're in a position in this team where we're transitioning, where I know that we got some certain pieces that in a few years are going to be great. Pedri, Araujo, Ansu Fati, and even other youngsters like Yusuf Demir came in. He was amazing in my opinion, and the same with Alex Balde. And I say amazing, of course they didn't turn the game around, they didn't score a hat trick, but they were good for the circumstances and the context of the situation that we find ourselves in. I think that Balde read the game incredibly well. He know how to go to the last, like to the final third. He got to the final third and he stopped the play. He stopped the play, he cut inside, he gave us that extra breath to just find new pockets of space within the box, because that is what Barcelona does. We're not about the crosses, we're not about the long balls. We saw it often in the first half with Luke de Jong, just trying to bring it down, which it worked. But the thing is that I have a problem with Koeman. Once again, it all goes back to Koeman, but first, Alex Balde, he did that good. He understands, and that's purely through philosophy. That's purely because he knows what this club means, and he has learned that in La Masia. So I think that we need to see more of these, more youngsters, but not now, not in games of the Champions League, in the games in La Liga. Next game that we face against Granada, if I'm not wrong, play Alex Balde, see how he can do. Play Yusuf Demir from the get-go. We need these players to start filling the boots in for the roles that eventually are going to come. Because right now, Barcelona, like I said, we don't have them, but we need to improve them. And just the final thing before getting to your comments and then talking a little bit more about the game in depth, about the situations, is that I want to mention, guys, like I said, Koeman, he doesn't go full in, all in with a tactic. I think that this team today was set up, and here let's talk about the starting 11. Let me find it. Let me find it right now. Give me 1 second. Let's find it. So we saw Ter Stegen, we saw Araujo, Eric Garcia, Piqué, Sergio Roberto, Jordi Alba, Pedri, Busquets, De Jong, Memphis, and well, Luke De Jong. And here for me, when I take a look at this, like I mentioned, we needed one extra midfielder if we wanted to make Luke De Jong work. We needed to associate him. If we want to do that, there's no need for a center back, an extra center back, because you want the ball away, as far away from your box as possible. And that's how Barcelona has always played. The best way to defend, in my opinion, is to have the ball away from your own half. But literally the entire game was played in our half. But then the next thing is that when we take a look at if you want to be defensive, why do you have, like I said, Luke De Jong there? If you want to be defensive and just go on the counter, do not play Luke De Jong. I think that Koeman doesn't know exactly how to line up his team. Of course, we're suffering a lot of different injuries. Maybe I thought that Coutinho could have started instead of Luke De Jong. I think that maybe if you wanted to go defensive, do that. Put Coutinho in or put Yusuf Demir in. That would actually be better. And if you wanted to be more attacking, you wanted to play the Barcelona way, take out one of the defenders and put in Coutinho. But like I say, I think that this guy just doesn't read the game well. Koeman he doesn't have any sort of coherent mindset. He's awful in that, awful at doing that, awful at doing that. But now, finally, I'm gonna check the chat. You know what? I'm gonna check what you guys have. Start by leaving your comments, guys. I want to see what you're saying. I want to see what you're saying. Let me see what you're saying. Okay. If Agüero wasn't injured or Braithwaite, do you think we would have scored some goals? No, because the thing is that when you have Agüero and Braithwaite, they're going to be isolated as well. So there's no point. It's the same with De Jong. If you want to get the ball to them, get the ball to them. Get an extra midfielder in there. Get somebody else to push further forward. Try to do that. But if you're not going to have reception, then I don't care. People are saying unloan De Jong. I don't think that can be done, honestly. I'm gonna try to read the chat from my YouTube page here because I think that will be easier. Okay, that will be easier, honestly. Okay. It's going so fast, my goodness. Okay, 8744 says, Buga, do you think that Barca have a possibility of not finishing top 2 in the group? I think there's a slight possibility, but at the end of the day, at least the result went our way. Because Dynamo Kiev and Benfica both drew. Kiev scored in the last minute, like literally 93rd minute they scored, but it was ruled out by VAR. I don't know if it was offside or there was a foul or something, but it was ruled out. So it was 0-0 in Kiev. Benfica drew with Kiev 0-0. And that means that Bayern Munich is top with 3 points. Then we have Dinamo with 1 and Benfica with 1. So that's good for Barcelona because it means that then Barca can go ahead and face against them, hopefully with more chances of beating them. And if we beat them, then it's good. I think there's a slight chance, but we would have to draw again. We would have to draw 2 games or lose 1 more to really be in trouble. And I think that even if we draw the next one, I think we're going to be able to win at least 2 after that. So we must be careful. We must be careful. Do you think Koeman will be sacked? Laporta said that Koeman will not be sacked. And the worst part, guys, is that we do not even have enough money to sack him. So I don't think so. The Journey says, only time I see Koeman being fired before the end of the season is if we are looking like we're not guiding Champions League football. I think that will be the only way as well. I think that maybe Koeman, if Koeman, let's say, is out of the top 4 and we do not qualify to the next round of the Champions League, I think that maybe he will be sacked. I think the possibility increases right now. The possibility of Koeman being sacked is at like 20%. And if we are out of the top 4 and we are out of the Champions League already in the group stages, I think that, well, Koeman will potentially, his possibility of being sacked will rise up to like a 40%, 45% maybe. I think we're kind of thereabouts. Shrani Gosh says, "How are you, man? I recognize that name. How are you?" You say, "Brother, they were running before passing the ball. We are running after they pass the ball. Our attacking transition from midfield to the attack is non-existent. Araujo, Gavi, Alba, and Memphis good." I think that Araujo was good, Gavi was good, Alba was good. Memphis, I think that Memphis actually didn't have a good game, but that's just me. I think that Memphis didn't have a good game. I think that Memphis could have been a little bit better when it came to protecting the ball a little bit more. I think that's a way where he could have been, it could have been beneficial to us. But his touches, I thought were a little bit too hard. I think his touches were not up to scratch. And he mostly, but he did the right thing. He was also always trying to beat his man. If he passed back and retained the ball, it would have been frustrating. It would have been the easy thing to do, but we weren't going to be going anywhere. Memphis at least was trying to do something. And I praise him for that. But then you were talking about, I think that running before passing the ball, like that's the thing. Bayern Munich, I always talk about before of internet in positional awareness and interchanging positions. When was the last time in this game that Barcelona, any of our players interchanged positions? Absolutely nothing. Nowhere. Every player was static. Every player retained possession, and they were just like man marking the player who they were taught to or whatever in the briefing of the game. Koeman said, okay, Pedri marked Goretzka. No, Pedri was marking Kimmich. De Jong was marking Goretzka, and Busquets was marking Müller. And it was just that. It was just all of them, the midfielders, just marking each of the players that they were supposed to. But then the problem comes when you take a look at Leroy Sané. And Leroy Sané, I just take off my hat off, even though I don't have a hat. But I take my hat off and I applaud Leroy Sané because Leroy Sané had a wonderful game. An absolutely wonderful game. He was going through the left. He was giving trouble to Roberto, which I already knew. Roberto against Leroy Sané and Alphonso Davies. That doesn't seem right. Sergi Roberto against Alphonso Davies and Sergi Roberto against Leroy Sané makes absolutely no fucking sense. Not in my book. But that happened, and Leroy Sané was giving trouble to Roberto. But then Leroy Sané was like, you know what? I'm actually gonna be better in the second half. And the entire team was better after that because Leroy Sané in the second half, after already being 1-0 up, 2-0 up, it was 1-0 up in halftime. And in the second half, they were even better. Leroy Sané was coming in deep. Leroy Sané was grabbing the ball. Leroy Sané was floating invisibly between our midfielders because guess what? There was not an extra man in our midfield to mark Leroy Sané because we were losing control every single time. And that is something that Koeman doesn't even realize. That's where I came in our preview. I even said, dude, I'm a fucking guy of 21 years old sitting in Peru in my fucking bedroom. And I could see that before the game even was played. How the fuck does Koeman not see that? You have Leroy fucking Sané. The 10 is on his back. They play with 3 10s. With one floating secondary striker in Müller. And then 2 10s in Leroy Sané and Jamal Musiala. And you are not expecting for them to have more control. You have 5 players in the midfield. And you play with 3. Oh my god. Koeman is honestly dumb as hell. And he said, like, if you were gonna lose for the flanks, pack the midfield. We were always gonna lose for the flanks because Alphonso Davies is a fucking false fullback. If there's ever a definition of a false fullback, it's Alphonso Davies because whenever Alphonso Davies comes in deep, whenever he comes narrow, Leroy Sané overlaps. Whenever Leroy Sané overlaps, guess what? Fucking Alphonso Davies goes out wide. And Koeman didn't have the fucking clue that he needed to pack our midfield. That's dumb as hell. Even against fucking Bayern Munich, we had the right mindset, playing with 4 midfielders. But even now, post losing 8-2, and that's a different thing. Like at least in the 8-2, we had more midfielders. But oh my god, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't really make any sense. And like I said, Leroy Sané was just dropping in deep, being invisible, and I think that is the key to why Bayern Munich were so good in this game, because Bayern Munich, you know what? They improvised. Bayern Munich improvised, and they had their tools, they had their positions done good, but they improvised on top of that. It's like you have a pretty good cake. You have the best fucking cake in the world, and then you put the best cherry on top of it. And that's what Bayern Munich can do. Barcelona here were just mediocre. They were just mediocre, waiting for something to happen, and nothing really did. No spark of brilliance, no association play, and it's all down to Koeman that he didn't know what. It's like he doesn't even decide what he wants to do. What are fucking Schroeder and Henrik Larsson telling him? Like, come on. I cannot believe that you are an assistant coach to Koeman and do not realize that the fucking game plan from this Dutch man makes no sense at all. I'm sorry, Tarek Yunis. How are you? And I know it's been a while, and I saw your super chat a long time ago, but I just needed to wait for a break for me to talk about it. So yeah, you say, hey Buga, how you been? Sorry, I haven't been coming through often. I've been very, very busy lately. Hope you're doing good. Anyways, Barca is missing crucial players, and we need the new players to gel. I can see us being a lot better soon. Hopefully, those are good words. The thing that Tarek is being here, he's been optimistic, and everything that he's saying here doesn't detract from what we saw. Doesn't really detract. Puya Sholi, thank you for the donation as well. Welcome to the channel. And you say, do you think we'll see Barca UCL Championship, another UCL Championship in our lifetime again? I feel so hopeless. I hope so. I certainly hope so. I think that'll be the best day of my life again, hopefully in the future. I think we're going to see one because I can, like, in 5 years, I can build you a fucking winning Champions League side because we got the players to do so. Araujo is a top-tier defender. Eric Garcia can be a good second defender. He's not going to be a world beater, but he can be a good second defender. Then you have Jong, who's incredible. You have Pedri, who's going to be world class. You have Ansu Fati, who's going to be elite. And I take a look at these players, even Memphis on top of that, and I think that's a good team. That's a good fucking team. But guess what? We don't have the person on charge to actually make it happen. And yeah, that's it. That's it, really. I kind of. And I know a lot of you are going to be saying you hate Koeman or whatnot, and Koeman out. And the thing is that I'm Koeman out in a way, but we don't have anyone to bring in. You give me a good roadmap, you give me good planning, and I'll say Koeman out. But so far so good. We don't have anything else. We don't have no one to come in, so I cannot tell you who should I bring in. But that's what it is, right? But then if I think a little bit more about then our players, like I said, we got a good squad. I think we're gonna see a good Champions League again. I think we're gonna see a Champions League again. Siyama Sin said, enough is enough. Kick out Koeman, Alba, Busquets, Piqué, and start building a future for the club. Balde's literally so underrated. Balde was freaking awesome, dude. And I wasn't betting Balde to be this good, and I didn't bet Balde to come in as a substitute ever, but he did, and he should start the next game. He's fucking awesome. Like, in just 2 appearances, two plays that he went forward, he was good. Not that Alba was shit by any means, but I'm just confident that we have something in him that could work. Akshay Chulak, and before reading more comments, guys, do you like this setup? This is where I normally do my videos always. So I think it works better. I mean, it's better than just seeing the back of my room, right? Which is all like disorganized. Akshak Chiluka says, I wanted them to trash us like A2 against just so that Laporta could kick Koeman out, but then I realized we don't have any money. That's the life of a Barcelona fan right now. 8744, but what's your thought on Ter Stegen? I think Ter Stegen did good. I think Ter Stegen honestly saved their ass 2 times. This game could have ended 5-0, 6-0, and I think it's fine. I think Ter Stegen was okay. I think he needs to come back to his best level, but you can still see he's a world-class keeper, so I'm fine with it. And the other thing, guys, is that I'm frustrated because the 3 goals from Bayern Munich were all rebounds and deflections. Like literally, the second goal was a rebound and a deflection. The third goal was a deflection, and then the first was a rebound. No, the first goal was a deflection. The second goal was a deflection and then a rebound. A deflection that caused a rebound, and then the third goal was a rebound. So I'm really frustrated. This game could have ended 0-0 as much as it could have ended 5-0. And that's the truth, guys. This game, believe it or not, and tell me in the chat if you do, believe me or not, but this game could have ended both 5-0 or 0-0. It really could have. Because the effort, and that's one thing that I'm going to praise this team. I'm going to praise this team that they were playing for each other. They were playing for each other. They were competitive to a certain standpoint. They were good in a current situation, like at the current situation, taking into account where we are. They were decent. They were optimal. They were playing at. They were doing the best. This is how I'm gonna explain it. They were doing the best of what Koeman gave them. That's it. They were doing as best as Koeman gave them, and I have to praise him for that because surely it's not easy when you have these tactics in place. But they were okay. They were working hard, and you cannot detract. You cannot take away that from them. They did good. I think that, of course, I want to praise them all. They were fighting for each other, and I think that is something that you were not gonna get if you had Messi still in the team. I think that Messi doesn't allow you to do that. I think that Messi allows you to at least play or believe you're still good when you really aren't. And we didn't have that. So at least I'm happy that Messi's not here anymore to suffer these defeats. That's another positive, I guess. Messi's not here to suffer these defeats, and that is good. That is good. I guess so. I guess that is good. Bayern still deserved to win, though. Yeah, I know rebounds, but they deserve to win. Brent Garcia, Brent? How are you? I remember you as well. 0 shots on target. Yeah, 0 fucking shots on target, dude. Our shot accuracy was 0.0 because we didn't have a single shot on target. When is the last time that has happened? 0.0. Dude, not even I do that. I'm a fucking defender when I play football, and I at least have shots, but at least they're on target. I hope so, but like, come on, 0 shots on target, dude. Disgraceful. Big Fact says Pedri, Busi, and the Young doesn't work, and you know what? I actually like it because your name matches what you say there. Pedri, Busi doesn't work, and the thing is that it doesn't work, but it doesn't work because there's not enough creativity to it, and it's too unbalanced because the Young has to do many of the jobs that Busquets have to defensive. Here, for instance, iNinja says the Young at DM over Busquets, and that's I agree with that 100%. I think that at this stage we have to transition past Busquets because Busquets is a good player. He's still a good player, but you have to know when to play him. When you play against a team who's not gonna pressure, a team that are just gonna sit back and literally play a low block, play Busquets. Play Busquets. But when you're playing against a team who's gonna pressure you and devour you, Busquets is God no, do not play him because he's not physical. He's not going to win that many balls because he's always going to be devoured by the opposition. You take a look at Kante, Casemiro, even someone like Jorginho. Jorginho, for instance, I think is the most similar of the players that I just mentioned. But the thing that Jorginho has is that he's a good read in the game, not as good as Busquets, but he moves more. He's more athletic in that sense. He still has that high IQ for a footballer and distribution. He's amazing at that. But then you have him still be a little bit more mobile and he can win certain balls. I saw the game between Chelsea and Liverpool, or Liverpool against Chelsea, and Jorginho won certain interceptions. He intercepted the ball, passes before it even got to Salah and Roberto Firmino, and it was because he was capable to get his fucking body over there. He was able to drag himself over there. Busquets can't. Busquets cannot do that anymore. Put Busquets running against Goretzka, Davies, Kimmich even, and he's gonna be the last one. Vivian says, Buga, don't sound like others, but people need to ask Koeman what's happening. Because I really doubt we improved defensively. What? Because I really doubt we improved defensively. Sure, Araujo is a beast, but we still conceded easily. 8-2, 0-3 regardless. Yeah, I think that's another point that we have to mention. I think that we conceded, like I said, from being unfortunate in a way. But Araujo was incredible. I think Eric Garcia was good or decent enough with what we had. But we like you said, we still have to ask. You have to ask a little bit on Koeman on that side. We need to improve defensively, but people here there's a big misconception. Defense is not just the defender or the goalkeeper. It's the whole team. And when you don't have the right pieces moving, defending correctly, nothing's gonna give. You take a look at Bayern Munich, for instance. Bayern Munich today defended like a beast. But the defending was done by Upamecano in certain occasions. Yeah, because he was one-on-one and he needed to win certain balls. But most of the defending was done by Kimmich and Goretzka and Leroy Sané. and Jamal Musiala and Thomas Müller because they were winning the ball very high up. Think that about for a second. Think that about for a second. Who were the most defensive players out of Bayern Munich right now? Was it Upamecano? No. Was it Sule? No. It was Kimmich. It was Goretzka because their team functioned like one. Vivian said also, I don't want to sound like other people. Okay, you said, I don't know. Okay, this is AK. AK said, being South American, you must be familiar with Marcelo Gallardo. What do you think of him taking over Koeman in December, considering how great River plays and how many trophies he has won? It makes sense. I think Gallardo is not a manager who's going to be playing either the Barcelona way. That is something that he ain't going to do. He's another sort of high intensity football sort of manager, like a Marcelino, like an Ernesto Valverde was, like Koeman tries to be. He's not a defensive manager by any means, but he reminds me a lot of Pochettino in Tottenham, where you don't need the ball to do, you don't need the ball to hurt them, but your team is always going to be physically good. And I don't think that Gallardo will have an easy job here because our team is not physically up to scratch. And even like, and I want to point towards what Agüero said a long time ago, where he mentioned how Barcelona's training started far too late in the morning. Like, doesn't make any sense. You have to start fucking 7 a.m. bang, training. That's how you do every single work. And Barcelona doesn't do that. What else? Thank you for the donation from David Alvarado. Thank you, man. Thank you. Gracias. Creo que gracias, porque tienes cara de español, de latino, lo que sea. Now we have two de Jongs. Yeah, we do. Alan BU says, I don't understand. Hi, Alan, how are you doing? I don't understand why people don't like Oscar Mingueza, but for me, he should have started. I agree as well. I think that Oscar Mingueza, whenever you're playing a back three, he has to be the first name on the team sheet. H3 says, do you think if we had Fati Dembele, we would have done better? I actually do think so. I think that above all players that we could have gotten, Ansu Fati and Dembele would have been the best for our team right now. I think that Agüero, Braithwaite, they would have made much difference, but I think that with Fati and Dembele, we could have seen a certain difference. David Alvarado, David says, what do you think about Jordi Alba's attitude when he came off? There's something going on in the dressing room we don't know about. I don't know what attitude. So if you can message me, tag me as well so I can see it better. Tag me and explain me, David, because I don't remember what you're talking about. I remember him being like tired like that, just when the camera focused on him. But I don't remember anything else. Who do you want as a replacement for Koeman? Who would I like as a replacement for Koeman? Look, right now I have no idea. I really don't. Let's check it out with you guys. Let's go on transfer market. And let's check managers out of contract. Maybe Conte. You know what? Maybe Conte. Fuck it. Antonio Conte. Bring Antonio Conte in. I would like that. Why not? Bring Antonio Conte. Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? Bring Antonio Conte. I think that would have been a good signing. Why not? Okay, so Ernesto Valverde is out of contract. Quique Setién is out of contract. Lampard is out of a job. Do not bring Lampard. Luis Fernandez, no thank you. Pirlo, Tudor, Conte. Like I say, Conte here would be a good one. Lucian Favre, Rudy Garcia. I mean, if you want a manager to play our way, Rudy Garcia would be it. But if we really do think about the points per matches, like right now, if we take a look at points per match, the best manager out of contract right now is Antonio Conte. Yeah, I would bring Antonio Conte. That's the only available manager we have because we don't have money to buy any other manager out of a club. So, yeah. You all see the disappointment on Memphis' face as Barcelona forever? Yep, I saw it. He was so sad. But that is kind of what he came here to do. I mean, the club is not at the level where we can go out and be on top of the world every single night. He's disappointed, but I think that this defeat overall, for most of our players, it will be helpful. It will be real helpful. Richard Kumar says we have refused Davis, Haaland, Bruno Fernandes, and Messi to demands that is Kim Di Maria. Well, Bartomeu, the only answer for me that I can say is Bartomeu. Okay, Dariana Barral says he was throwing a fit when he got injured, but he was throwing a fit when he would get injured, but he also throwing shit and jetting a Koeman for not taking him off ASAP. Um, I mean, there's nothing really you can do there. I think that Koeman, he did take him up pretty fast, if I'm not wrong. It's just that the ball was playing through him many times, so he probably exercised more than what he needed to do. And you need to have Alex Valde kind of warm up a little bit because then he can probably get injured as well. So I think that is more Jordi Alba, his attitude, like you say. Zidane, Ten Hag or Xavi 100%. Yeah, but the thing is that how are we gonna get them? How are we gonna get them? Especially Ten Hag. How are you gonna get them out of Ajax? Erwin Runs the Word says, shout out to all the youngsters in today's game. They are literally the sole hope for this club. On a UCL game against Bayern, they showed energy, enthusiasm, and I have hope for the future 100%. Could wait to tell you guys. Could wait to tell you. And the thing is that, guys, if you think it was overreactive with the title, it is, but we have no future with Koeman. And that's not an overreaction. That is the truth. I think we could have used a player that can go today. Yeah, I think that as well. Shashank Nair. I think that overall, playing with Dembele, playing with Ansu Fati, playing with a winger would have helped us. Playing with someone with pace. Tinka is not the fastest, but when you compare fast to Luke de Jong, pretty much anyone's fast. I'll meet Barcelona is finished on camera. Dude, I don't think Barcelona is finished because not a club is finished. Like, not even AC Milan is finished. I think finished we can only say it about like footballers. Footballers can be finished because they retire. So, but clubs not that much because clubs the sole purpose of a club is that they can live without players, right? So it's not finished because we would be finished if we didn't have players. Let me tell you that. If we didn't have La Cantera, if we didn't have La Masia, Barcelona would be 100% finished. But luckily they do. They do, so they're not finished. Not anytime soon. Matt B. Sima says this is a time where we have to thank Busi and Piqué for the service. We need to grow the youngsters. Yeah, and that's the thing. I do not get it. Like Piqué, remember that he said after the defeat against Bayern, "Oh, if somebody needs to leave, I'll leave." You know what? He said, "I'll leave, I'll leave." But not even, not even any manager wants to consider that. You know, and I think that's a pretty big miss. Did I miss anything about the game, guys? Any situation? I think we haven't talked about Sergio Roberto. 45 minutes in and we haven't talked about Sergio Roberto and how shit he was. Every single touch that he had was awful, was horrendous. He lost the ball so many times. He gave it away. He gave passes to our players in wrong positions. He put every single teammate under pressure. That's literally what Roberto did in this game. What else? I think the goals, they don't need much explanation because the problem is not singular. It's not individual per goal. So I don't need to mention that much because I would just made a hassle. I talked about De Jong, Memphis, Pedri, De Jong, Busquets. We talked about Roberto, we talked about Eric, Araujo, Piqué. We talked about Ter Stegen. Yeah, we talked about pretty much everything and any situation that I missed, guys, in this game. Because the thing is that actually, if you think about it, there's not that many situations because it was all one-way traffic. It really was all one-way traffic. It really was all one-way traffic. Okay, let's see what Ramon has to say about the game. Okay, you know what? I want to read this. I want to fucking read this. Okay, this is what Ronald Koeman had to say about the game, guys. So clear your ears and listen. Ronald Koeman said, the system, we had three forwards available. Of course, we would have liked to compete better, but this is what we have. This is what we have available. Which is true, but it's not an excuse. So, point wrong for Koeman. I think that, yeah, that's basically what I can say, honestly. Just chat. That's that. Ronald Koeman, there are guys with a great future who are 20 to 18 to 20 years old, and compared to their players, there is a difference that over time will be less. We saw Susero Roberto. I don't like the public to do it, but everyone, because I know everyone gives their best, which is fine. Which is fine. I know everyone gives their best. I would never whistle a player in their face. I would never go to a Camp Nou and whistle. I've been to the Camp Nou now multiple times, and I've never whistled. I'm never gonna do that because it's just not in my nature. I won't whistle a player, but the thing is, a different complete thing is saying that that was Roberto's best. Like, that is not Roberto's best. And if that is his best, oh goodness. Ronald Koeman, I can't say anything about the team's attitude. We have the squad we have, and we're very young players. In 2 or 3 years, they will be very good. And that's true. They'll be very good in a few years. But guys, you gotta keep waiting. We have to be realistic. Jordi Alba was ill. Luke de Jong played his first game. Yeah, I guess. But then, if you have Jordi Alba, why play him when he's ill? You could have played Alex Valde there, or you could have done what you mentioned, having Minguez as a right back and then Roberto as a left back. Ronald Koeman, things are going to be different than today. The team showed they have future, and then we also have reinforcements like Ansu Fati, Agüero, and Dembele. And look, guys, this is another thing. I think we're gonna be better in the future. I think we're gonna get better. I think that honestly, right now, when we take a look at this team, we're worse than a team like Dortmund. But I think we're competing at that level, at the Dortmund Inter Milan level. But we're gonna be better in the future with those players. Ronald Koeman, we have too few players from the highest level. What we have too few or few? We have too few. That's not good English. We have too few players from the highest level. We have ended the game with 4 and 5 players that are just 18 years old. I guess, but that's also not an excuse. I think that those 18-year-old players would have done better than some of the highest level players. Ronald Koeman, Bayern showed they have a better team. There is a difference in the players. They were better than us. I guess so. Good analysis. Ronald Koeman, I cannot do anything with people's opinions. We're improving. We're missing players. I talked to the president. If there's a problem, we talk about it. I want to put this whole thing aside. Okay, at least you're realistic. At least you're fucking realistic. What else? Is there anything else? Not much. We have things on. We have statements from Piqué. 2 statements. Gerard Piqué. This is by Samuel Marston. Good friend of mine. Not really. But I interviewed him once, and he's a really good guy. He said, we competed in the first half. Bayern took the lead with a deflected goal. In the end, I don't know how many kits we had on. It is what it is. We are what we are. Piqué, I like to remind people he's not a fullback. He's making a huge sacrifice playing there. People are free to have their own opinions, but that jeering really hurt me personally. Which is fine. But yeah, guys, like I said, Koeman here says, what does Koeman say? Koeman said, thanks to me, the club has a future. No, it doesn't. Yay! Fuck you, Koeman. Okay, what else we have? Koeman always blaming someone else. Koeman is known for making excuses. Everyone came in except Puig. Dude, I just realized that. Oh my god. Honestly, Enrique Puig was the only one who came in. Wow. But guys, that's gonna be it, I think, for me right now. I wanna eat something. I'm hungry as fuck. I'm hungry and I'm done. I'm done. It is what it is. 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 But when's your next game? Let me check. And do you like the setup? You didn't answer me. Do you like the setup? Do you like the background? Do you like the setup? I think it's more chill like this. I can just be in my chair. I think I can just be chill like this. I like it. Buga, what about Gavi? Do I have to mention Gavi really? He was amazing. Gavi's going to be a real talent. I think that him and Pedri are going to be really good midfielders. I would like to see a midfield of Gavi, Pedri, and De Jong. I think that is probably our best midfield. Because I think Gavi is a little bit more complete than Ricky. But they're kind of similar as well. But Gavi is a good player. I think Gavi will be good. The same with Nico Gonzalez. But I wanted to check Barcelona's fixtures. And the thing is that, dude, we started the game so fucking well. I really like the game, dude. I really like the game. I really like the game. Coutinho as well. I didn't talk about Coutinho. Coutinho was good. Coutinho was good in this game. I think that Coutinho could come in handy for us. He's a little bit of mass. He's a little bit more quicker, more sharp. I think he'll be good. I think we have a player in Coutinho that we could use 100%, and we should utilize him. That's the thing. He's not discarded by any means. I think he'll be a good player. But so the next game that we have is Granada on Monday. Monday, Granada. Oh, that changes my plans a bit because I have stuff on Monday. Okay, so Monday we have Granada, which is unfortunate, but we have Monday. Okay, I'm going to need to change that. And then we have Thursday. Thursday we have Cádiz. Wow. And then Sunday we have Levante. 3 games in a week for Barcelona. Interesting stuff. Next week we have 3 games. Okay. Okay. Wow. Why Monday, dude? That makes no sense. Why Monday? Played Sunday. La Liga hates us. La Liga hates us. And then you know what? So Monday we have Granada. Then on 23rd, which is Thursday, we got Cádiz. Then we got Levante. Then we got Benfica. Then we got Atletico Madrid. When is the break? When is is there a break? Atletico Madrid on the 2nd of October. And then there's a break. Between Atletico Madrid and Valencia, there's a break. Okay. So that's a pretty big streak of games. Atletico Madrid, Benfica, Levante, Cádiz, Granada coming all the way back. Okay. I see you. I see you, Tebas. I see you. But anyhow, guys. That's gonna be it for me, guys. That's gonna be it for me, guys, today. Hope you have enjoyed. And remember, there is a future, but not with Koeman at the helm. My mind has changed with that. I think that Koeman, like I said once again, he's doing the right things. He's playing the right players. It's good. Do not get yourself mistaken. It's good that we're seeing these youngsters come through. But when we plan on reaching the top, when we talk about reaching the highest of Europe's elite, Koeman cannot take us there. I do not think that Koeman cannot take us there. So that's going to be it for right now, guys. Hope you have enjoyed. See you in the next one. Take care. And watch our player analysis about Luke de Jong. Yeah, watch it. Bye-bye. Take care.